Let's begin. So, thank you all for joining us today at this webinar. My name is Luis. I am the scientific coordinator here at the Hair Metrology Lab at ALS. I joined the company last year, so this beauty care world is quite new to me, but I've been working with instrumental testing for the past decade. So I have some experience in this part of instrumental testing. And actually, the instrumental testing is the core of our lab here at ALS. So we do have plenty of methods to sustain the claims related to hair and fiber integrity. We also have some methods on to analyze the cuticle using some SEM, and not only the cuticle, but some deposit over the cuticle. We also have image analysis methods to analyze like shine, luster, and other things related to frizz formation, like anti-frizz or volumizer effect, curl definition, straightening, retention. Other methods that we also have are the thermal analysis for thermal protection and hydration. And also we do have plenty methods related to colorimetric testing. But instead of deep diving in all of the methods that we have, today I have a different approach to talk with you. So the idea today is to have like a broader perspective on what are those instrumental testing and for what we use then and how we can differentiate instrumental testing for like clinical testing, consumer perception. And after defining what are those instrumental testing, we are going to understand how we can use the test data that we collect and how to understand the method and the information we can collect from each method. And after that, we can understand how using this data, we can turn these instrumental results into market claims. But also we have to also understand where do the claims came from. So we have to discuss and understand the nature of each claim, how the treatment will deliver the benefit to the hair shaft. So after discussing this, we can finish this webinar talking about the instrumental methods versus how the common understanding of the claims are perceived, like how the final consumer will perceive the claims. So for this discussion, I will give you two examples, the hair strength and hydration slash moisturization. So as we are going to record this webinar, so I think we already started recording. So for any of you that want to share this presentation after that, it will be available at ALS YouTube channel. And also, if any of you have any question during the webinar, I ask you please use the Q&A section to send your questions. I think we will have some time at the end of the presentation to answer some questions, but the ones we are not able to answer today, we are going to contact you by email answering you the questions. So first of all, we are talking about some instrumental testing, but what are exactly this instrumental testing? How they are different from clinical testing? So the idea of instrumental testing on hair metrology lab is the test that we use tresses or strands of hair to analyze the benefits that the treatment can provide. So different from the clinical testing that we use like a shampoo or conditioner or a mask directly into the consumer, the final consumer, or for a consumer perception. In here at the lab, the hermatology lab, we use stresses and strengths to quantify the benefit the treatment can provide to the hair. So in order to do that, we also have to use like a second group of hair tresses to compare the treatment. So basically what we have is the first group is the treatment when we are going to apply the treatment to the hair. And the second one is basically is an untreated hair, the one that we will only wash with an unconditioned shampoo to quantify how much the benefit can provide to the hair, like how much strength, how much shine, how much frizz it can prevent compared to a hair that didn't receive any treatment. So this is basically the idea of instrumental testing. We use stresses or strengths and we compare every single test we compare to a control group to give the benefit, how much percentage or a number of times of the benefit can provide to the hair. And in an instrumental testing, we can analyze two main different structures from the hair fiber. So the first one is the cuticle, and when you look at the image of a hair fiber, you can see that the cuticle is the outer layer of the hair fiber and works as a barrier, and it protects the structure of the hair fiber. And most of the properties of the hair that we measure from the cuticle is related to softness, shine, luster, something like that, sometimes even frizz. But the second one is the cortex. So it is the inner layer of the hair fiber. And this part of the fiber is the whole structure of the hair. So this is the layer that we analyze when we talk about mechanical or thermal properties of the hair fibers. And the main objective of instrumental testing for the hair fiber is to identify the response of the hair to application of treatments. So basically, we are going to apply the treatment and quantify how much benefit will provide to the hair fiber. And first, a thing that we must define in every single test is in which hair type we are going to test the treatment, the shampoo, the conditioner, or the mask, because different hair types they have different structure. So this is the most important step of the definition at the beginning of the test, because it will present different results for the same treatment only because the structure is different. So here at the hermatology lab at the ALS, we use this classification based on waviness levels. You may know it as L'Oreal chart, but we use it because it has some papers, some scientific papers talking about how we could differentiate hair types and how they are different between each other. So the different types we have is straight, that will be this one here in the picture, normally see as Asian hair. The type 2 that is mixed between straight and wavy. Type 3 that is mostly wavy hair, also known as some Caucasian. Type 4 and 5, that is curly hair, and type 6, 7, and 8, that is some coiled hair. So each one has its inner characteristics, not only the but also the structure. So like for example, curly or coiled hairs has some porosity, and this affects directly the strength of the hair fiber. So it will have less resistance and lower strength compared to a straight hair, for example. And I bring this slide in here to show you the difference between the hair type and why does the hair type matter when we are talking about instrumental testing. So as I just said, curly hair has some porosity, and the structure of the hair fiber does not favor the mechanical resistance compared to straight hair type. So in here, you can see like type 3 and type 4 compared, and we have like a higher result for the type 3. So it is an expected result because the structure of the type 3 is more resistant than type 4. So this shows how much important is the definition of the hair type in instrumental testing. So we definitely will have different results for different types of tests and different types of hair. So this is the first step. We have to define to which type, which hair type the treatment will deliver, will benefit, instead of just testing any hair type that we want. So this is the first step. Definitely, we have some standard types to test for every method, but we also can adapt to modify a little bit some methods to provide you with a better result for the treatment. And as I'm telling you, the straight hair types has a higher resistance, but I brought to you here also a bonus question. So this type 1 should present a higher value, a higher tensile strength. So if any of you has an idea of why does this type 1 here has a lower value, please write in the Q&A section, and we can discuss it a little bit at the end of the presentation. But the thing that I want you guys to remember from this slide is the hair type matters, and we have to define it before we move forward on the instrumental testing. The other thing that we also have to keep in mind, to discuss, and to analyze before we start instrumental testing is the damaging or the condition we want to test the hair type. And basically, we use damaged hair to sustain claims like restoration or recovery. So this is the initial condition for those types of claims. So it's not so, it's most common to use natural hair for most of the claims. But when we want to talk about restoration or recovery, we should aim for damaged hair. So it is also important, again, to understand how the treatment can provide the benefit to the hair. Because this way we can choose the best damaging method to damage the hair and then apply the treatment to analyze this difference. So if you want if the treatment provides a restoration, a recovery into the cuticle, for example, it is better to choose damage that will focus on the cuticle instead of the cortex. But if you want to show like a full recovery of the fiber, both the cortex and the cuticle, then we may have to choose one like damaging type that combine both, or we have to combine two different damage methods. So here at the lab, we can provide like five different types of damaging methods. So the first one is bleaching, that's focused mainly in the cuticle, and it is a chemical damage. The second one is also a chemical damage, but is the straightening, and we are going to damage mainly the cortex. So we have this big difference between those two chemical damages that we can provide to the hair. The third one will be the combing, that we combine mechanical and thermal damage due to the several combing and the blow drying during the process of repeated combing. But due to the abrasion, that is like the most important part of the damage, it will affect mainly the cuticle. The fourth one is the thermal damage, that we can use basically the flat iron, and it will damage both cuticle and cortex. And depending of the temperature and how much of cycles we use for the flat iron, it will damage more or less the cuticle. And also the last one is the solar exposure, also known as UV damage, that will also damage both cuticle and cortex. And a normal question that we receive is it possible to combine damaging methods to show like a better restoration or a better recovery? So the answer is yes, but we have to define how much this is necessary, because a higher damage, it will need like a higher power of restoration. So this is the main problem, because if we combine both two or three methods, we can damage the hair beyond a point that we can recover. So again, we brought you an example for tensile strain, that we measure natural hair in here, and after some double damage, this one we use bleaching and combing. So we did combine two damage methods that focus both on cuticle and also the cortex due to the blow dryer. But after that, we did some triple damage. So we bleached the hair two times, and after that, we combed for 8,000 cycles. And this was like a really high damage over any repair could do some good to this kind of damage that we did, because we combined three methods that focus mainly in the cuticle. So we ripped off almost all the cuticle from the hair fiber, and even like the best product would not be able to restore this characteristic. So the next slide, I can show you the image of that. So this one here in the right is the SEM image for the double bleaching plus 8,000 cycles of combing. So we do have some parts that we don't have cuticle. We have some lift cuticles in here, broken cuticles. So this is a damage beyond repair. So we don't want that. We have to define some damage that can be treated. So this is the second most important thing to define. In here, I brought another example that is from thermal damage. We performed 40 flat ironing into the hair tress and collected some fibers to analyze. And we can see like highly regular cuticle in here. So it is due to some breakage during the flat ironing. And there is some sections that we don't have any cuticle because it was ripped off from the fiber during the abrasion process of the flat ironing. So uh, this is the second point that we have to pay attention because we can damage the hair too much. So sometimes we can have a good result for the treatment, but since we damage the hair a lot, we are not able to show the difference because the initial condition, the damaged hair, was beyond repair. So this is the second most important point that we have to pay attention. So, as I said to you, for instrumental testing, we perform those tests in traces or strands, and we have to use this control group to show how much how much the treatment can provide a benefit to the hair. And we also do that because the hair, as a biopolymer, has some a high variability in similar traces, because this is like a natural polymer. So this is the most difficult. So we have to perform like different traces, more than two or three, or fibers we use when we test like tensile strength. We use like fifth or sixth fibers to measure the tensile strength because it has some high difference between similar samples. So for every instrumental testing, we perform it at least 3 times to be able, or better, with 3 different traces or 3 different strands, to be able to make the statistical comparison to show the difference. And we also evaluate the response of the hair to the application of those treatments. And the key correlation in this is how the final consumer perceives the benefit versus the data we measure at the lab, because sometimes it's not directly correlated. Sometimes the final consumer perceive benefits different from what we really measure at the lab. And so the first point of understanding the claim and providing a better support to a claim is to understand what is the main benefit or benefits that the treatment will provide to the hair fiber. So after we understand that, we can discuss each method and understand how each method could be used to sustain the claims. And the first example I bring to you is the strength analysis. Sometimes we receive like a lot of questions or like claims related to hair strength or improve of hair strength. And we do have a method to analyze the tensile strength of hair fiber. So strength, when we talk about instrumental testing or in material science, we define strength basically as stress divided by strain, like the load we use to pull the hair fiber divided by area or the diameter of the hair fiber divided by how much we can elongate the hair fiber. But this is analysis related to the structure of the hair fiber. But there's a problem, a big problem, because the final consumer won't perceive, won't understand the hair strength in this way. You won't see any consumer using a treatment and then be in front of a mirror and pulling his own hair or her own hair using her fingers or his fingers to pull the hair and see, oh, my hair is not breaking too much. So therefore, my hair is has more strength. So this is a test or a method that we recommend when a treatment or a product penetrates the fiber and modify the hair structure. This way, we can show a difference in tensile strength or in the elastic modulus with a higher stiffness, for example, to show this difference, this increase in tensile strength. But normally, how a final consumer can perceive a higher strength in his or her hair, they're going to see after using a treatment that their hair will break less. So basically, what we analyze is how much the hair is breaking. So how many broken fibers we have after using the treatment. So we do have a method for this. I'm going to show you some video of it. So we do have this method here at the lab that we do some repeated combing. So we put the tresses inside the machine, use a blow dryer, and use we count how many cycles we have. And after that, we can also count the number of broken fibers every 1,000 cycles to compare how much benefit the treatment can provide, how fewer broken fibers the treatment will provide compared to untreated hair. But the problem here, like the difference in here is that we are not analyzing only the hair strength because this combing of hair fibers are affected by two different things. The first one is indeed the strength. So if we have like a stronger hair fiber, we definitely will have lower number of broken pieces of hair. But if we also improve the lubrication between fibers, we can also generate this effect. But at the end of the day, the final consumer will come his or her hair at home and will see a lower number of broken fibers. And they won't think about, oh, is my hair stronger or it's better lubricated? They're not going to think about this. They are going to see, oh, my hair is breaking less. Therefore, my hair is stronger. So this is one of the tests that we can also use to sustain hair strength plane. So are two completely different methods that we can use depending on how we perceive or how we understand the method. If we're going to talk about tensile strength, load, force, the structure of the hair, or if we are going to talk about how the strength is perceived by the final consumer. Another example that we have that is working with hydration and moisture, because hydration and moisture are commonly associated with water. So sometimes we can use both hydration and moisture with the same meaning. And by association, we can understand that hydrated and moisturized hair would be like a hair that has more water in the fiber. But here we have a problem, because if the problem was the amount of water in the fiber, we just have to put some water in the hair. So after taking a bath, after wetting your hair, you can solve the problem of hydration and moisture. But this is not where the claim or the main problem here lies, because first of all, the dehydrated hair has like a greater dullness and is quite brittle. And we analyze this part of hydration itself by analyzing the amount of water molecules we have inside the hair fiber. And for hydration, we use thermal analysis. And we compare this first event in here, in the thermal analysis, to quantify the enthalpy of water vaporization. And basically, a higher enthalpy of water means we have more water inside the hair. And we recommend to use this test when we want to sustain a claim related to sealing, helping to sealing the cuticle, locking in the hydration inside the fiber, or aligning the cuticles. So if we deposit a thin layer over the fiber to keep it the not the moisture but the hydration, the water molecules inside the fiber. This is the test we want to use, because with hydration by thermal analysis, we can quantify how much water we have inside the hair. And of course, hair with more water molecules inside the fiber, it's has more shine and is not so brittle, has like a higher strength when we are brushing the hair, for example. And the second part of this hydration slash moisture analysis is that the moisturization normally is associated with softness, smoothness, strength, not the tensile strength, but breaking less the hair fibers with a higher shine. So if we did analyze this part, softness, smoothness, less breakage, a higher shine, are all talking about the alignment of the cuticle. So for moisturization, although we may remember or may think about water or hydration, we are not going to analyze this. But the feeling of having a hydrated hair or a moisturized hair. So what we want to test in here for moisturization is to see how soft, how smooth is the hair related to the cuticle alignment. So in here we can use as an example bleached hair. So after bleaching, we have to open the cuticles to perform the bleaching. And this open cuticles, this lifted cuticles, will make the hair less soft and less smooth. And after using some treatment to reduce this lifted cuticles or open cuticles, we will increase the softness and smoothness. The test we use here at the dermatology lab is the ring method. And the idea is to simulate the feeling of passing the hand by the hair fiber. So we use a Teflon ring to pull the hair truss by through this Teflon ring, and we analyze the force and the load. I mean, and the energy we need to pull the trusses through the Teflon ring. So if we need a higher energy, it means that it is more difficult to pull the truss. And this is related to the alignment of the fibers and the cuticle. So if we have more aligned fibers and more aligned cuticles, we will need a lower energy, a lower force to pull the truss. So with this, we can show that the hair has a higher moisture, has a higher softness, a higher smoothness. So instead of analyzing the water inside the hair, we are analyzing the cuticle or the state of the cuticle. Of course, we can combine this kind of analysis like with SEM to show the state the cuticle is after the treatment or after a process like bleaching. So we can combine different methods to provide a better support for those kind of claims. So basically, to conclude, to finish this webinar, today we discuss about how the instrumental test helps us to sustain the claims. So the instrumental testing helps us to quantify how much how much benefit provides to hair fiber or a hair truss. So we can have a percentage or a number of times of the treatment improving the hair characteristics. And it also can has a different approach to clinical tests. So it is a faster way to have some results, and also as I just said, it can give you a number, a percentage, to show how much benefit the treatment can provide to the hair. But we also today we also discuss the essential points to understand first in which hair types we are going to test the treatment, which condition, if we are going to use natural or damaged hair, because this can help us to understand how the product acts on the hair fibers and how it delivers the benefit to the hair fiber. And therefore, after understanding all of that, how the claim works or how is the main idea of the claim, it is way easier to choose instrumental methods to better sustain the claims. So those are the main benefits we can use. Also provide with instrumental testing. So this is everything I have prepared for you today. I once again, it's a great pleasure to have all you here, and thanks. So I'm going to open now the Q&A. If you also, guys, if you have any questions, not related to the presentation, but related to to the instrumental methods that we have, you can send us an email from me or the alias from the Hermatology Lab or the sales team in America. Any one of those emails, we can provide you with better support. So someone asked to send the presentation. Yes, of course, I can. After that, we can send you the PDF document. Another question was, could you please share with us the papers about hair structure and types? Yes, of course. I can send you the presentation that has the reference in it, but I also have the paper that describes the structure and the which hair types we use in here. Uh, Another question was, how is possible then to make a plan like suitable for all hair, for all types of hair? So normally when we talk about those types of plane like suitable for all types of hair, we have two different approaches. Normally, it's better to use a clinical test because that way we can recruit some different people with different hair types. And that way you can show or can provide a claim or you can sustain a claim like this, suitable for all types of hair. But if you want to perform a instrumental test, then we can, some of the methods, we can test different hair types to provide you a result for straight, wavy, curly, and coily hair. So another thing that is, it has more, uh, it is more difficult to do because you have to present results in every hair type is doing different tests in instrumental testing. But normally this suitable for all types of hair are better sustained for clinical testing. So what is best way to do scalp cleanse, better scalp health? So this is a big problem that we normally receive requests to perform scalp cleans on at the instrumental lab, but there is a big problem related to scalp cleans because we don't have like scalping here to test it. So for those kind of things like scalp cleans or um, anything related to the follicle or hair growth, we can use tresses. We have to test in the final consumer. So the best way is to use a clinical test. Um, how are rinse-off studies conducted, especially using peptides, hyaluronic acid, and other actives in hair care products? So I am not sure if I understand right this question because using peptides, hyaluronic acid, and other actives, we may have some methods. You can send us an email elaborating this question because rinse-off studies, normally we perform it with a shampoo or a conditioner that are rinse-off products. And we normally apply the treatment to the hair. And after that, we dry the hair and perform the method. But if you want to specifically show some like penetration of peptides, hyaluronic acid, and other actives, I am not sure if we do have a specific method for this. But feel free to send us an email and we can discuss further about this. Maybe we can create or develop a new method to help you to sustain your claim related to those kind of rinse-off studies. Could the plasticizing effect of water in the hair fiber reduce the hair strain? So this is the question. I am not sure about the plasticizing effect, but um, normally, yes, we have like a different papers talking about how the hair has a lower tensile strain when it's wet compared to a dry hair. So we we have this difference, but there is some specific conditions that we can analyze better with wet hair compared to a dry hair. For example, if you want to analyze some damage, some improvement into the hair fiber, it is better to use a wet hair fiber instead of a dry one, because this way we can have a bigger difference between the elastic modulus and tensile strength. In here, what we normally do is to keep the hair fibers into environmental chamber that we have. We can control temperature and humidity, and that way we can test all the hair fibers in the same condition. So we kind of eliminate this problem with different humidity and temperature to provide like more reliable data from the tensile strain. I don't know if I answered your questions. If I don't, please send elaborate on the question. Um, which test best represents that a product helps prevent friction between hair and a surface like pillow? Oh, that is a great question. The ring method, the one I talked about moisture, normally we use that one to talk about friction between hair fibers, but I am not sure how we could analyze a friction between hair and another surface. Maybe using another another material instead of the flown ring. Maybe we could provide like a test or create a test, create a method to show the difference. So uh, the idea is basically that to use the friction between the hair and another surface and compare the energy needed to pull the hair tress between this surface. It is not a standard method that we have, but if you want to look forward on this kind of treatment, you can also send us an email and we can schedule a call to discuss it better, to understand your needs and maybe to develop a new method to sustain this kind of claims. Okay, the last question is, we don't see a lot of hair products label the hair types on their products. What do you think they are testing on for their claims? So it really depends. I will give you an example. Like for if you have a treatment for curly hair, or I mean, a shampoo or conditioner, a mask or cream, something for curly hair, and they have on the product label, oh, this treatment is for curly hair. Normally, the testing are done in like type 4 or type 5 hair, basically the curly hair types. Because as I said at the beginning, they have like different testing. If you have like a general label, not specific for curly or straight or wavy hair, it really depends because we have like different methods sustaining different or being able to be done in different hair types. Another example is shine. The shine evaluation we have here at the lab, we are able only to test at straight and at most the mixed straight wavy hair. So only on type 1 and type 2 hair. So this is the like our restriction due to the method. Another example is the breakage reduction, the one I talked about the hair strength. Uh, because we are going to comb the hair fibers. And if we have like a really straight hair, like type 1, we won't break the hair. Or if we use like a straight hair, normally straight hair won't form much frizz. So there's two methods, breakage and frizz, that we can't use straight hair because it won't give any difference between control and treatment. So the standard types that we use for breakage are type 3 at least. So, but of course, we can test for curly hair or uh, like type 2 that is mixed between straight and wavy, but then we have to bleach the hair. So it is like this is quite tough to give you a direct answer because it depends on the method. It depends on which claim you want to sustain. If you want to talk about a shine, probably a straight hair. If you want to talk about like breakage, frizz, we are going to use mostly wavy hair. If you want anything related to curls, like curl definition or curl retention, or even like detangling or combability, we normally use curly hair. So it really, really depends. But of course, there are some methods that we have more um, flexibility, like breakage, we can use from type 2, bleach at type 2 until type 5 hair. So it really depends. But I agree with you. It is difficult to see which hair type they use. Normally, they define by straight, wavy, or curly, and that is the definition. But I am not sure how they test or which type normally test. I know that here in Brazil we don't have this difference, and I also think that in U.S. market you also don't have this difference on hair types, only straight, wavy, or curly. But if you want to pass on a specific hair type, you also can send us a message and we can discuss further if we can or cannot test on that hair type. Last comment, great session and great response to the questions. Thank you again. Oh, thank you for joining us today. So I don't know if you guys have any other answer. If you don't, I think we can finish the session, Philippe. I am not sure, but as I said, if you have any questions or if you want to discuss or to know a little bit better about our standard methods, send us a message, please, and we will be happy to help you with any methods or any testing that we could provide. So thank you again, and bye.